What's up, everybody? It is 7 o'clock on Sunday. Sunday, 7 o'clock. Let me adjust the camera slightly. I think that's good. All right. How's everybody doing? Looks like we got 4 people here. Like I always do, if you could please throw me a thumbs up or whatever, just so that I know that you can see me, hear me okay. 5 people here. I got a thumbs up right there already. Not seeing any comments yet, but if anybody can just let me know and make sure that we're going. Hey, whatever. Okay. Okay, sounds good. Thanks, guys. All right. As always, guys, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. There's my high-tech sign. Good to go, Tim. Thanks, man. I'm going to put like some Christmas lights around this or something someday. Maybe a little flashing strobe or something to make it even more high-tech. But the problem is, yeah, you too, Jeff. I'm glad you're healthy. I hope you're healthy. I hope everybody's healthy. Hey, Matt, good evening to you. So the problem is with my high-tech sign, I think I got 4 more pieces of paper here, and then I got to make another high-tech sign, so it's going quickly. So we'll get maybe 3 or 4, maybe 5 more Sundays out of this. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see everybody. I hope everybody is safe, healthy, doing well. Andy, good to see you. Outdoor Dad is here. Johnny Cuz. Terry, I can't read that, but thank you. Hey, BMK, good to see you, man. Hey, BMK, question for you. A few weeks back, you said something about, you asked me if I had a cooler sponsor yet, and I don't. If you have information on anybody that's, if a cooler company out there is looking for somebody to be on their team, throw that info to me in I don't know, in a comment or just email me. That'd be great. Hey, Chris, hope you and your family are safe. Bruce, the same back to you. I hope everybody out there is doing great. Tim, you got the Dreamweaver pack. That is cool. I I saw the Dreamweaver. Hey, man, Leroy's here from Purple Taco. Good to see you. Larry is here. Almost forgot tonight, Larry. You can't forget, man. Sunday, 7 o'clock. It's a big deal. It's not a big deal, but it's a big deal. No, it's not. Good. I'm glad everybody's here, though. So yeah, like I was saying, I hope everybody's doing well. Hey, happy birthday you, Bobcat. Good to see you here, buddy. I hope you're having a great night. It's your birthday. I have an idea what you're probably up to. My good friend Bob there. Dave, good to see you, man. Bob, good to see you. Catching lots of steelhead, man. Throw the info out. Throw the info. If you're, hey, Ben, good to see you, man. Hey, thanks for jumping on Patreon, Ben. I saw you earlier today, jumped on Patreon, and you gave us a $2 sponsor. Man, that's so cool. Thank you so much for doing that. Scott from Birch Run is here. Great. What the heck was I just going to talk about? I can't remember. Sometimes I get, hey, Steve. There's my guy Steve that jumps on here sometimes and throws me a super chat. $3. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that, man. So anybody that does that, throws a super chat on, whether you support us on Patreon or through the super chat, the option is there for the super chat right down at your comment line is in the drawing for this 250 copper. I got about another week, and I'm going to be giving this away to anybody that jumps on and sponsors us. My way of saying thanks, and this is just not going to be a one-time thing. This is going to be, hey, thanks, Steve. This is not going to be a one-time thing. This is going to be, I'm going to try to do this like once a month or once every couple of months if I can. Give away something to everybody that sponsors us. That's the least I can do. Man, we're getting a lot of great comments here. We got 48 people here already. Last week we had like around 70, I think, and that's one of the better turnouts that we've had. Limit of Coho out of New Buffalo and got the Lakers jigging on the reef. Nice work, man. Good job. Oh, that's what I was talking about. The Dreamweaver stuff. So I put that video out on the Dreamweaver sale, and I looked at their site like just a day later, and you guys wiped them out. So thank you for that, and Dreamweaver thanks you for that. That is super cool, and yeah, thanks, Team Jesus. I appreciate that. You got a great name, by the way. I dig that. Love the information I get on this channel. Well, thanks, Joe. Good to see you, my man from Buckley. Joe came down to the shop not long ago and picked up a wire rod combo and a fish hawk for the March Madness sale, and that was great. Walleye packs still available. Okay, good to know, Terry. Thanks, man. Yeah, but I know the salmon packs, you guys decimated them in like a short amount of time. I got my cow cup here. I got some tea in here. Gotta stay hydrated, It's gotta stay hydrated. That's what everybody says these days. Gotta stay hydrated. Watching from Indiana. Thanks for the heads up on the DW. You're welcome. Whenever I get information like that on Dreamweaver or whatever it is, I'm going to try to throw it out there to you guys because just like you, I love a good deal. And Dreamweaver are a great group of people. All right, so it's a nice rod, real cool. Joe, glad you love it, man. You're gonna catch some nice fish on there. You cannot beat a wire diver setup, and that is truly a good setup too. Leroy, I do have the new blood red. Okay, he's answering some questions. So if you guys don't know Leroy, Leroy and Deb Dowding from Purple Taco, they are here almost every Sunday. What's a good boat for charters to buy? Oh man, that's a loaded question, because if I say one boat and not another one, I'm going to tick somebody off, and vice versa. There's a lot of good ones. But anyway, let me talk about Lee and Deb. They are here almost every Sunday. They own Purple Taco Fly Supply. They are here to answer your questions and talk about whatever you guys and gals want to talk about. Super cool. So look, somebody mentioned what boat should they buy, and all the comments stopped. Either I lost feed, or everybody's waiting. So yeah, one that floats, no kidding. One that runs and floats is a good start. There are a lot of good boats out there. Don't get me wrong. If I say one thing and not another, it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate the other style of boat. But there are some really good companies out there. I am a Tiara guy. I love Tiaras. They're Pursuits. They're straight up Tiara yachts. I mean, they're excellent boats. Heavy, fish well, take waves well. And I've said this before. I think that is the biggest key to a boat, is how well it handles big waves. Heavy boats, in my opinion, heavy boats just outfish other boats because they're not affected as much by the wind and the waves. So Tiara's excellent. Cherokee's excellent. Albemarle's excellent. There's 100 more out there that I'm probably forgetting right now that I fished on before, and they're excellent. Stripers, like we use on our salmon or our Jim's tournament boat that we use for tournaments. Excellent boat. And there's pros. Charter boats, one thing. Boston Whaler, absolutely great boat. Yeah, Mark, darn straight, great boat. And there's so many more. It's just they're eluding me right now. Okay. Bob, cool, man. So Bob's saying Tangle Tackle is going to extend that March Madness sale. So 10% off anything in the store. We're Grady, yeah, another good boat. We're going to extend that sale due to the virus that's going on. So people, you can still get great pricing. There's one guy that came in, Matt Presidents came in a couple weeks ago, and he ended up saving close to $400 by the time he walked out the door. Talk about a great deal. So we're going to extend that. That's what Bob just said. That's good to know. All right. Grab some more tea here. I feel like I got to stay talking all the time to just keep everything rolling. Sometimes I got to take a little break here. I'm sure you understand. Great question, though, on what's a great charter boat. Many out there. Hey, Roger, cool, man. $5 super chat. Thanks, Roger. I appreciate that, buddy. I will put you in the running for that 250 copper. Thanks for supporting the channel, man. I really do appreciate it. And everybody that has supported us and is supporting us on Patreon, thank you. If you guys see something like that come across, thank the guy, if you don't mind. Thank them for me. I'm not going to miss it, but it's just nice of people to do that. All right. So March 29th, I got a few things written down here. Again, thanks for watching. But one thing I got to mention, and I just found this out a couple weeks ago, and it surprised me, to be honest with you, is my mom is watching these live broadcasts. She's down where I grew up by St. John's, DeWitt area, and she has been watching this along with my dad. I'm not sure my dad watches too many of them, but I know she does. Guys, if you want to say hi to my mom, I'm sure she's here. I love having her here. She's the one that took me fishing when I was just little. And there we go. And really, I mean, going with her to her parents' house, they lived on a lake, and just being 3 and 4 years old out there with a cane pole, worm bobber and a cane pole. That's where I started, just waiting for that bobber to disappear. That I could stay out there all day some days. Most days I did. But that really got me on the path to my lunacy and my fanaticism that I'm on today. Hey, cool, guys. Thanks for saying hi to my mom. I appreciate it. I love her. All right. Anyway, let's talk about some other things. Let's talk about the fishing report, because that's the name of this is a fishing report. Let's talk about fishing report. Around here, guys, I don't have much info. Thanks, guys. That's really cool. Everybody's saying hi to my mom. That is really cool. All right, around here, I heard pier head fishing has been decent. I don't, like I said, I don't have a ton of info, because again we are on a lockdown. There's not a whole lot of movement going on out there, so not a lot of people out there on the piers. Hey Jeff, thanks man. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Thank you, sir. I will put you in the drawing for that 250 copper. Thanks, guys. Man, that is so cool. Thanks, guys. Pier fishing though has been decent. I've seen a lot of guys out shore fishing. And from what I heard, one guy that called the shop not the shop, but another guy I talked to not long ago was getting some lake trout. Lake trout, if you guys don't know, a lot of guys are going out for browns right now. I haven't heard much on browns, but lake trout around here, this time of the year, you're going to pick them up when you're out brown fishing. In fact, sometimes you can't keep them off the lines. Last year during the tight lines for troops tournament, I'll tell this story real quick if you guys will bear with me. So we had 3 veterans on board last year. Jim's running the boat. I'm sitting in the back. We got the veterans sitting up front. You know, it was a rainy day, and Jim and I talked about it before we even started. We're like, where are we gonna go? Because we didn't have a plan. And I said, well, let's just run down by the water tower. We call it the Green Onion here in Manistee. Let's run down by the Green Onion, shallow water. We'll set up shallow, and we'll go for lake trout and brown. See if we can get maybe a straggler king. And Jim's, yeah, that sounds good. So we take off out of the pier heads, the tournament goes off, Jim takes off, and he blows right by the water tower. And I watch it go by. I don't know what he's doing, but maybe he's got a better plan. And we're running, and we're running, and we're running, and we get all the way to Onekama, and we're still running, and that's 10 miles up. And finally, about 3 or 4 miles north of Onekama, he sets down, and he's like, he goes, I thought you were talking about a water tower in Onekama. And there isn't one in Onekama. I'm like, well, we're here, we might as well fish. And we ended up putting 15, I think it was 14 or 15 fish in the boat by the end of the day for those guys. So a good mistake, if there ever was an example of a good mistake, that was one right there. But it worked out really well for us. But circle back to what I was talking about, lake trout. If you're going out brown fishing, don't be surprised if you get a ton of lake trout on the line. And I love lake trout. I have no problem taking lake trout. I love them on the smoker. I love them grilled any which way. But anyway, back to the fishing report. How many guys we got? 64. Tango tackle orders going out. Hey Mike, I know Bud has your order, and I have not been in the shop for all of this week and most of last week, and I know Bud has been working on your order, but whether or not they're going out soon, I don't know, Mike. I just don't know. I don't have an answer for you, my friend. And I appreciate everybody being patient with that. Obviously, we're in a severe lockdown right now, and for a good reason. So if anybody has put an order in, please be patient. We're not trying to, slide anything by you or anything like that. We're just obviously in the same situation as everyone else. And like I said, the shop is on lockdown, but the owner has gone in every now and then. He can go in on his own as long as he doesn't open up, and he can build orders if he has the time. So please be patient. And that goes with everything else, guys. Just please stay healthy. Please, these things that are set in place right now are for our own safety, and really the best thing that we can do is do everything we can to follow those guidelines. I mean, seriously, the things that I see on the news, the things I'm seeing on the news, terrifying to say the least. Fried lake trout nuggets are the best. Oh, you're not kidding. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Deep fried lake trout? Oh, yeah. Heck yeah. But also on top of the virus thing, that's why I think it's important to keep getting content out to you guys, because we all need a little sense of normalcy through this whole thing. And I'm going to keep pumping out content as long as I can. Hopefully that's for a while. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of something to come to every, once or twice a week, something to watch. Please remind people to be respectful of the rules when fishing. Don't want our fisheries shut down. Yeah, no doubt. So a little bit on that. Tippy Dam here in Manistee last week had, from what I understand, just people stacked up like cordwood down there, fishing right next to each other, not obeying the rules that are set out there. Talk about a dangerous situation. And then our DNR officers have to go down there and put themselves in harm's way to get things set back in order. Let's be careful. Let's respect those things. Let's respect one another just for the time being. I have a 25 for sale. Not quite sure what that... Didn't quite catch that, BMK. I don't know if that was for me or somebody else. All right, but anyway, yeah, let's respect one another. Do what we all can to get through this thing healthy and safe and happy. All right, so fishing. So shore fishing has been decent. Lake trout are out there. Haven't heard much on browns. River fishing has been good from what I've heard. We're getting some rain in the last couple of days. Hey, Wisconsin, how you doing, Randy? Good to see you, man. River fishing's been decent. We get in the rain. I don't think the river's going to blow out. The rain is not that heavy, so I think the river fishing should stay, on a decent trend. Remember though, the guidelines for fishing last I checked was 2 people per boat, and no great distances traveled to get to your fishing spot. So if you're driving from Florida to come up here to go river fishing, obviously you're not doing it the right way. That's a long way anyway. Okay, what else? Fishing report, cool. That covers it pretty much for now. And of course, is it true they shut down charters? Yes, it is. Until the last date I got, I believe, was April 15th. So no charter fishing right now, no guide service. Tim, thanks, man. Hey, thank you so much, man. I'm a fan of you also. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. So cool. You guys are the best. I really mean that. You guys really are about the best audience out, the best people out there. We're running a fly. Do you run the... Oh, man, I missed it. I'm sorry. All right, so let's talk about questions that pop up here. I'm going to miss some from time to time because so many are popping up here, and I apologize. I can't see everyone. But I've written down all the questions that I missed from last week. And so what I'll do with questions that I miss, instead of going into the comments and talking about them, I will cover them in the following week's video. If you need something more, or if you need something sooner than that, you can always email me, christangletackle@gmail.com. I get a bunch of emails every day with guys and gals out there asking some great questions. I'm always happy to take the time and answer anything that I can. And some people just email me and thank me for the channel. Guys, I thank you. I think without you guys and gals, hey Alaska, cool. Without you guys and gals, there would be no channel. Seriously, I'm just being sincere on that. So thanks to you. All right, so yeah, I will answer questions on the next week's video unless you email me. I'll get you an answer sooner. All right, so really that wraps up the fishing report. And obviously, as the time gets on here, is that a can of gunpowder behind you? Possibly, possibly, Mike, maybe. Yeah, but as the season goes on, I will get more and more in depth on what's going on. Obviously, I'll be out on the water much more often. And I'll give you guys the details that you really want for the salmon season and trout and everything like that. So cool. How many people we got here? 66. Cool. That's a nice number. Guys, that is a really good number. I think the most we've ever had was close to 100, and that was last summer. Some of the restrooms at boat launches are closed. Yeah. In fact, I think the majority of the restrooms and facilities at most launches are closed. Keep up the great job. Thanks, man. Thank you very much, Alan. Appreciate that. All right. So, next thing I want to talk about is field testers for the best lure company. So a while back, I hand chose, or I picked out of a hat 10 people for the best lure company, and then I found out that the guy that I had been in contact with was no longer at that company. And so I was a little perplexed. How were we going to go about this? I was actually going to go on there and buy the plugs, because if I say I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it. And those 10 people deserved it. If I said it, they deserved the plug. So I was going to go on there and buy them. But I was able to contact the new, I don't know if he's a CEO or CFO or what his exact title is. But his name's Sean out there in British Columbia, Vancouver, Canada. And he has got us hooked back up. He's going to send the plugs for those field testers. So obviously Canada Post right now is a little slower. When they get here, I will get those out to everyone. I've got all your information. They're coming. Thanks for doing the fly tying videos. Are you doing more? You know, if you guys want more of things like that, absolutely, I can do things. You know, there are the original 20 recipes. How cheap? You're talking about the plugs, Jeff, probably? But if you're talking about the original 20 flies that we did back in 2017, I believe it was, all our recipes, I could go through and make individual videos for those flies. I wouldn't have a problem doing that. For me, it boils down to time. It really does. It boils down to time. For you guys know I have a full-time job on top of all the fishing stuff, on top of all the YouTube, on top of about 3 or 4 other things that I do. My life's pretty busy. But I am happy to roll some stuff out there. If you guys want it, I'm happy to roll it out. Okay. All right. So yeah, Best Lure Company, they're coming through. Best Lure Company plugs, if you're asking the price on those, I guess by the standard of the industry, they're not exactly cheap. They're 10 to 12 bucks, I think, for each of them. But if you go on their website, bestlureco.ca, bestlure.ca, they're up and running on that site. Guys, they really do have some nice plugs, and they're all hand carved wooden plugs. From what I understand, much like the old Lyman lures, which many people have told me are the best plugs that they've ever run. I've never run them, but I've talked to quite a few people that have, and they say they're very similar. So I'm excited. And from talking to Sean, they are very speed tolerant. In fact, I don't really have one. They're plugs that have the fin that's carved into it, or the tail, I mean, not the fin, the tail. He says they were running those up to 5 miles an hour speed over ground last year, and they were running just great. They were shut down. Okay, guys, you're talking amongst each other. That's cool. I don't want to interrupt your amazing conversations. All right. So anyway, best lures, they're coming. We're going to get you guys hooked up. All right. So some of the questions that we got last week's on the last week's live fishing report, I'm going to talk about those real quick. Will the band make the fish bigger? You know, that's hard to say. I doubt it. I think we're going to have. I'll talk about the fishery. What my expectations of the fishery are going to be this year. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I think we're going to have really big fish. I think the numbers are going to be pretty similar, like last year when the kings really got here. On our charter trips, we were putting anywhere from 8 to 12 kings in the boat, and we could go out and we could catch anywhere from 15 to 20 lake trout a day. So I think the numbers are going to be pretty similar, and I think the size is going to be similar also. You know, I said it before, I hadn't seen a 30-pounder hit the deck in over 10 years. And last year I watched 3 or 4 hit the deck, and that is cool to see. And not just 30-pounders, but several 28s, 29s, 27s, you name it. At the tournaments, if you weren't bringing in 65 plus pounds for the 333, you weren't going to be in it. You weren't even going to have a shot at it. So I think I think that this year's fishery is going to be very, very similar. But I don't think the band's going to have much to do with that. All right, so what sonar are you looking for? Guys, I'm not really looking for a sonar right now. I'll always say this. My favorite 3 out there are Lowrance, Humminbird, and Ray Marine. Really, you can spend a ton of money and get the top-of-the-line unit if that's what you want to do, or you can spend a small amount of money and get and still a decent unit with those 3 companies. And the options that are out there now are just mind-boggling to me. The side scan, the down scan, the chirp. All of those things, like on Jim's boat, all Ray Marine stuff, and it works great. He can go on the fish finder, bring up the map, and go boop 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 boop, draw out waypoints, hit go, and the boat will just drive to those waypoints. It's just absolutely amazing to me. Ray Marine Axiom, yep, absolutely. Ray Marine Axiom is a great unit. But yeah, Lowrance, Ray Marine, Humminbird, you can't go wrong really with any of those. All right. When do we expect the salmon to show up in Manistee? So that's hard to say. We normally get a pretty good May run, and the reason we get normally a really good May run is because a lot of the fish, the big fish, the 4-year-olds, will shoot up the river early. When that's happened the last several years. So if you can go out and capitalize on that and find those fish as they're staging or getting ready to stage, moving into stage, if you can capitalize on that, you can have some great king fishing here in May. And you talk about silver fish, you talk about absolute fights. Those are some of the best ones to catch because they are live and they are silver and they are ready to fight. But then we normally get a lull in June. June slows down. Water starts setting up. We start getting our good temp breaks, and the salmon starts showing back up. Sometimes June can be really good, but generally the really good fishing turns on sometime in July, into August. And then we'll see how it goes into September. Do you have the portable fish hawk at the shop? No, but we can order anything. Anything fish hawk related, we can order. We're the best. Oh, I missed that. I'm sorry. I thought we're the best eating something. Obviously, I enjoy eating. So I'm sorry I missed that comment. What do you think about the Fish Hawk X2? No experience with it, my friend. No experience. All I can say about Fish Hawk is they are an outstanding company. And honestly, if their slogan is, what is their slogan? Anything you do without a fish hawk is just called boating. I think something like that. Hey, from the UP, good to see you, Mark. And honestly, guys, I don't pro staff for Fish Hawk. I don't rep them in any way. But I've said this before. If you told me I could keep one piece of equipment, electronics on the boat, I had to choose just one, it would be the Fishhawk. They are that important and that essential to going out there and finding the right depths, temperatures, trolling speeds. If you're going into the current, with the current, sideways into the current, X4D is an amazing unit. That's what Jim's got on his boat. That's what I'm putting on my boat. And I'm excited to have that on there. Guys, it is a valuable piece of gear. And it really was. When the Fishhawks came out and the Depth Raiders and a couple other units out there that I think that have all gone bye-bye, they absolutely changed the face of fishing, salmon fishing especially. Yeah. So yeah, Fishhawk. I don't know anything about the one he asked me about, but I can stand by the company. The people there are fantastic. Their customer service is remarkable. We had a Fishhawk last year that failed on us. They had us a replacement unit within just a couple days. Really good people. And it's not one of those where you call them and you get the press 2 for English and then press 3 to talk to an operator. It's none of that. Somebody answers the phone and you talk to a person, and they're fishermen and anglers out there also. They know where you're coming from. So great people. All right. Can you use rod trees for dipsies? No, don't use rod trees for dipsies. Just way too much. This is my opinion, but way too much torque on a rod tree for a dipsy diver. Big John and many other companies make specific rod holders for dipsy divers, just because of the tremendous amount of pressure that's put on there. Not just from the rod, because the rod actually that holds a lot of pressure. But think about that. If you get a 25 pound, 30 pound king smashing on that thing also, it's got to stand up to that. And so rod trees I would stay away from for dipsy divers. I found the Fishhawks customer support was amazing. Yeah, Eric, you and me are on the same page on that one, man. They are excellent. Dogs are going crazy upstairs. I know my daughter's coming over, so it might be that she's here. How often do you change the mono on your long lines? What that question is? Hey, Tim, yeah. So somebody asked me, how often do I change the mono out in between the leader and the copper or the lead core, that place where I put the planer board? Maybe every 3 years. That seems, unless you're noticing nicks and frays on it, something, hey, cool, guys, yeah, Fishhawk, excellent customer support. Unless you're noticing something wrong with it, nicks, frays, cuts, abrasions, whatever, or it's just looking bad, change it out then. But otherwise, about every 3 years, that works pretty well. And then a lot of people asked, we were talking about a blog. Somebody was asking me if I could maybe do a blog on the website for the fishing report, excuse me. And to be honest with you, that's really why I started these fishing reports, is so this is my blog in a sense. And then what I'd really like to see is anybody that has something to add for their area, anything for their fishing report in their area, or just something in their area that's going on, guys, put it down in the comments. I would just like to have everybody be able to come to this every, during the week or on Sundays, watch it live or whatever. Just be able to come here and check it out, see information for their area, add information in. That's really why I started this. It's not just for me to sit here and yak on and on and on. I'd like to everybody get involved. Put information down below in the comments, and let's twisted tea. No, regular tea, man. Twisted tea doesn't sound half bad though. Be honest with you. Long Point out of Canada. Hey Kevin, good to see you, man. Out of Canada. All right, so guys and gals, that is it for the questions from last week's report. Where are we at here? Holy cow, we're at 28 minutes already. Time flies, man. I look more and more forward to this every week, coming on here and talking with everyone, especially as the season's getting closer to the summer. But just the nicest people. The people that super chatted on here tonight, God, that was so nice. Yeah, I really appreciate that. And like I said, anybody that jumps on and super chats, donates to the channel, you get put in the drawing for this 250 copper, and then also the other giveaways I'll do as time goes on. Coppers, I'll do some Dreamweaver giveaways. I'll do some thanks Frank. I'll do some Dreamweaver stuff. I'll do whatever I can. I just want to give back. It's not just gimme. I want to give back. That's what it's all about. All right, so we've been going for about a half hour. We got 70 people here. That is so cool. So again, thank you to the super chatters. Thanks for all the thumbs up. The thumbs up is a big thing for YouTube. I know that. They grab those thumbs up and they pushes the video out more in their algorithm. And that does help the channel. Thanks for the tip on the sale. Hey, heck yeah, man. Yeah, so anything you do, the thumbs up, the like. If you haven't subscribed, click that subscribe button. I'm not here to twist your arm in any way. If you don't want to, you don't want to. I'm completely fine with that. But by subscribing, like button, those things, that does help our channel out. Hey, Bob, thanks, man, for all the thumbs up. Those things right there really does help out the channel. Great turnout. Thanks, Chris. No, thank you, Jeff. Thanks for being here, man. Yeah, it was a great turnout, and it's been getting stronger and stronger every week. If anybody's got another question, throw it out here real quick. I'll stay here all night if you guys want to talk. I mean, I'll talk fishing sometimes in the shop for hours. I'm replacing my Downrigger's cable light to go to braid. I didn't catch all of that. I'll talk about that real quick. So was it last year or the year before? We noticed that our Downrigger bite had turned off. On several trips, we just weren't getting Downrigger bites. And so I grabbed a voltmeter. It's probably, yeah, it's right up here actually. I grabbed the old voltmeter, headed out, checked out if we were putting any voltage out from the Downrigger lines into the water, and sure enough, we were. We absolutely were. So we went to braid. We went to Power Pro. I believe it was 250-pound braid for our Downriggers on Jim's boat. And lo and behold, like as soon as we did that, the next trip we started getting Downrigger bites. Now, am I going to sit here and tell you that that's the reason why? No, I can't do that. But I definitely think that there's something to it. And then again, you talk to some people out in the Pacific Northwest, they actually purposely put voltage out into the water to attract fish. So it's the old Ford versus Chevy, tomato thing. All I know is it changed our Downrigger fishing much for the better by going to braid. So that's all I can really say. And honestly, I think that braid cuts the water a little better. The biggest drawback, though, on braid is this. Your line counters, especially on the Big Johns, are calibrated for wire. That means the diameter of the wire. And so your depths on your Downrigger on your dials are going to be off if you go to braid. And that's why that fish hawk, again, comes in so important, because without that fish hawk, we would have been guessing all over the place on where our cannonballs were actually running. So I could always calculate it in my head that the counter says this, but I know in my head I can chart it out. I knew where the cannonballs really were. What size cannonballs for older electric Big Johns? I'm almost certain that the older ones are rated up to 12 pounds. The Captain's Pack, I know, are 12 pounds. Do you use a snub for the ball shot? Yeah, I absolutely do. Yeah, I'll talk about that real quick. Yeah, 12 pounds I think are for the older Big Johns, and then any of the newer ones like the Brutes, the Speed Riggers. Depth at the probe, yeah, man, absolutely. Yours didn't like 12? Didn't like over 12, yeah. 12 is, I think, what they're absolutely rated at. Anything more than that, we've run 20-pounders on the Brutes on Jim's boat before, and that's a beast. And I'm telling you right now, the new Big John Downrigger that's coming out, you want to talk about a beast. I've seen that thing. I've seen it work. It is a true beast. I forget what the rate was, but I think they said something like 80 pounds at 250 feet per minute. I don't want to be talking out my you-know-what, but that number sticks in my head, and that's just super fast. All right, so yeah, snubber at the cannonball. Dreamweaver makes a thing called a dead set release. And what it is, it's a snubber on top, comes off your Downrigger line, and then there's a blacks release, and then below that is another rubber snubber that goes to your cannonball. So Downrigger line down, snubber, blacks release, snubber, cannonball. And I love those things. That's what we absolutely run all the time. It's nice. You bring that cannonball up sometimes to strengthen those Downriggers. Thing comes up so fast, it comes out of the water and it stops, and the thing will splash back down. And I broke one off doing that one time, lost a probe and a cannonball. But those shock absorbers, the dead set releases made by Dreamweaver, will negate that problem. You're not going to break off cannonballs when you bring them up too fast or slam them into the bottom. And that's another nice aspect of it, is when you're bouncing bottom for trout. You got that extra cushion down there, gets that ball, nice touching the bottom, which is exactly what you want when you're going after those Lakers down there on the bottom. Good questions, guys. Real good questions. Anybody got anything else? I'll stay here. Otherwise, I'll let everybody, we'll get out of here. How many educational charters are you thinking about doing this year? Very interested. I have, I think I only have 2 booked right now. 1 or 2, I think it's 2. I have 2 booked. If you want to book a charter, any charter could be an educational charter. If you get a hold of me, check out my website, Dark Blue Charters, DARKBLUE charters.com. There is in the contact page, there is a website, an email address and my phone number. You want to give me a call and we can talk about dates and booking and anything you want to talk about. And also in the contact page, if you go all the way down to the bottom, I have the calendar set up there so you can actually see what dates have been taken. Could you do a video on the fish hawk? I've never seen one. I would love to. Yeah, I would love to do that. That's a great idea, and it's actually one I've been toying with in my head. Scored my stimulus salmon kit. Cool. Everybody that's purchased the DW Dead Set release loves them. Yeah, Bob there from the shop. Yeah, loves them. We sold them there in the shop, and we've sold probably hundreds of them out of there. People love them. Yeah, they really are a nice addition to your setup. Okay. What size downrigger weight do you recommend for salmon and steelies? What brand of snap swivel? Snap swivels, I always use Dreamweaver snaps. And I'll get back to the Cannonball one. Dreamweaver makes excellent snap swivels, and for a fraction of the price of what you're going to get from the Sampos and the other high-end ones. Excellent swivels, much cheaper. Yep. And downrigger weights, my preferred one is about, hell, I shouldn't say preferred. 12 pound is fine. But on really hard current days or windy days, you're getting a ton of blowback with 12s. I really like 16s. I really do like 16s. And that could put a little more torque on your downrigger. If you don't have one strong enough to pull those, I understand. But really, a 16 pounder is an excellent downrigger weight. Much less blowback and more accurate depths that way also. Cool. Good questions, guys. Good questions. All right. Anybody got anything else? This is one of the longest ones I've ever done. We're at almost 37 minutes, and we're still going here. And we still got almost 70 people here, which is way cool. He has hand crank rigs. Not quite sure what you mean by that, but yeah, pancake versus ball. I've run them both. I have run them both. So here's my thing on pancakes. They're excellent. Less blowback. Nice downrigger weights. Fish style pancakes, whatever you're talking about there. The biggest issue is when you bring them out of the water, or not most, a lot of companies now have hooks on their downriggers, so you can just hook it on there. But if you don't have that option, then you have to somehow take it off, put it in the bottom of the boat, or somehow wiggle it into the ball cradle. And that's kind of the thing I found with those. 16 pounds is a lot to crank up. Yes, it is, and I've done it. You're absolutely right. So I stick with the regular Cannonballs, the round ones. They work really, really well. You spoke about a half-price sale last week. I missed the rest of that, dude. I'm sorry. I didn't see what that was. If you want to repost it, I can wait for it. But I missed the rest. Something about a half-price sale. But yeah, I stick with the regular round Cannonballs. I think as fishermen, sometimes we have a tendency to overthink things. Like we watch other boats and what they're doing, and we listen to the radio, and we fish. I got away from all that quite a while ago. I don't fish the radio much. Color of the ball, just black. Almost always black. I found that the less I try to think about things, the better off I do. The less I try to get into other people's programs, the better I do. Because the minute you start trying to get into somebody else's head and doing what they're doing, getting away from what you know you are and what works for you and your boat, I think you just make more troubles for yourself. So I have the radio on because, in case there's distress calls, but I rarely, if somebody says they're just destroying them on a mixed veggie, on this and that, I rarely change out. Rarely. Thanks for the tip on the stimulus package. Yeah, absolutely, man. And you see boats out on the shelf, they're all packed in a line. I have no problem getting away from those. Go find clean water, because I always look at fishing like hunting. If you go into the woods and you've got 100 other hunters out there with you, what's going to happen to the wildlife? It's going to spook. And I think fishing is the exact same way. This is just my opinion. So I think overpressuring fish, fishing where everybody else is fishing, even though everybody's saying, we caught 10 of them there yesterday and I caught 8 of them there, that much pressure, I mean, honestly, really overpressures the fish, and they're going to scatter. And that's why I really enjoy finding clean water. I really enjoy finding clean water, unfished water. Last year, our tournaments that we won, most of the time, we couldn't see another boat around us. And that really works well for us. I guess what I'm saying is don't be afraid to be you, your program. Do what you know works for you. Don't fish the radio. Cool. All right. That's my little soapbox moment there for a second. All right. Holy cow. We're at 40 minutes almost. We still got 64 people. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. Unless somebody else got something they want to ask, I'll be happy to sit here and listen. Otherwise, I'm going to jump out. What's up with the dollar behind your head? Color flash or type of day, sunny, cloudy. So the dollar, what is that? Hold on. Oh, it's $1 million bill, man. It's $1 million. It's the only $1 million bill that I got, so I got to keep it. If you want it, though, I'll send it to you. I'd be happy to do that. What color flasher, sunny versus cloudy days? Good question. There's no set rule of thumb on this, other than the old adage, bright days, bright lures, cloudy days, dark lures. And that really does work pretty well. So early morning, before the sun's even up, I'm running some darks. I like to run dark stuff, glow spoons, but dark paddles. Maybe the black double pearls, Dreamweaver paddles, or Spin Doctors. Really like those, or just some of the darker colors. If it stays cloudy throughout the day, I have no problem leaving some glow stuff down there, and I have no problem leaving some of the darker colors down there, like the darker blue Spin Doctors, the black, like I said, the black with the pearl. Those seem to really do well on the darker days. If it's a really bright, sunny day, phone died. All right, Joe, see you, man. No problem, buddy. If it's a really bright, sunny day out there, I like going to chrome. I like going to a lot of chromes with bright tape, double chromes with UV, double chromes with a bright, the bright green. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So, like I said, there's no chart I can look up and go, okay, it's 48 degrees and such time, the sun's at this angle, and I can go to that chart and go, okay, I got to use that Spin Doctor. There's just no way to do it. But the old adage, bright days, bright colors, dark days, dark times, dark colors does seem to work pretty well. That's a good question, though. I hope that answered it okay for you. You're welcome, Jason. You're absolutely welcome, man. All right. Anything else? I'm going to have some more tea here. All right, Jeff. Yeah. All right, guys. Let's bug out. Let's pop smoke and get out of here. It is probably close to 7:40. Everybody stay safe. Stay healthy. Take care of your loved ones. Good night, guys. We will see you next Sunday at 7 o'clock. Lighted flashes are excellent. We can talk about that another time. The new Pro Troll lighted flashers, yeah, I like them. I do. All right, guys. We'll see you soon. Okay, be safe. Take care.